Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where you'll notice we're like 15 days ahead of where we were. Yeah, I went through that intending for that to be part of this episode and then discovered I forgot to switch scenes in OBS. And it was like 2 minutes in and I was just like, you know what? If it was like 15, 20 seconds, I would have thought it was funny. 2 minutes is a little much for the joke. So I restarted the episode. Here we are. Nothing really happened. All we did was tick forward and get our repairs done. Let's check in the mech bay and see here if all of them are completely good to go.
Nice to see you.
And yep, they are. Fantastic. And then we're going to hop into the barracks and get mech warrior training done. We haven't done that one yet.
Yes, standing by.
So let's see what's going on over here. Everybody looks reasonably okay.
Wait, I'm here. Aye, aye.
Orders.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to be done. Okay, sounds good. So we are ready to deploy. Let's see if we can find some difficulty. 2.5 mil. This is actually 5.5 SCO. Remember, this is going up into the next rank when we see this color. So that's definitely a good sign. This is not much pay. This is an attack and defend. I don't think we need that kind of salvage right now, if I'm honest. I'm more interested in something kind of like this battle here, a straightforward job. Now, there's not much salvage available here, but we kind of don't need a lot of salvage anymore. We could sit here, or we could sit here, which is a better priority salvage, and get 2 million C-bills out of it. And that's what we're going to do. So, realistically, this is, I think... Is this going to be the hardest mission we've ever done in terms of difficulty? Maybe. Maybe. But I think we're ready to go here. Yeah, Darius thinks that we're way out of our league here. Darius is wrong. Darius thinks that we're 2.5 skulls. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you, Darius. We are not 2.5 skull. I can tell you that right now. We have been just shredding enemies very quickly. No problems whatsoever. RogueTech is underestimating us pretty wildly, and that's why we switched to planetary difficulty, because we were just not getting the challenge that we needed on Lance difficulty, because RogueTech thinks that we have a weak Lance, and we kind of don't. In all honesty, we can use this Lance to just shred things. And we have a lot. So that's why we're on planetary difficulty, and we are seeking out some challenge. 5.5 SCO is going to be great. We would love to start dipping into like 6, 7 SCO. I'm not sure what that caps out at. Isn't it like 20 SCO that it caps out at? We'll have to see how far we can get. But we need to destroy the planetary government units. Commander, Merrick's surveillance teams have picked up what we believe to be the signature of an active patrol of local government mechs, engaging in reconnaissance near the borders of our holdings on this planet. This is technically not a violation of our sovereignty, but it's clearly provocative. We need you to send a message by destroying the patrol mechs. Should you encounter any other local government units, there will be a bonus for destroying those as well. A straightforward job, Commander. This kind of back and forth is typical on Periphery worlds. Indeed!
Command interface initiated.
Okay, this map. We're familiar with this one. This is the border region. Our targets are up on that hill. Yep, as expected. We do have allies, which generally means we're going to be against a lot of enemies. I kind of... this is a big open area here. That's the major issue with it. They don't have a ton of cover either. If we can make for, like, this position up here, or... just push up. I mean, I don't like these positions exactly, but we can deploy something kind of like this-ish. I guess that would work. I don't really like that last position. Maybe like up here? Okay, sure. We'll see what we got here. We have no idea what we're up against, but we know that there's a support lance already, and we know that there's a planetary government force. Okay.
Hey, after we finish, swimming anyone?
So they are right here.
Not for mech combat. These trees
That's a Timberwolf and a Banshee and a Marauder 2 and a Marauder, and I don't know what this guy is. He is probably a pretty heavy boy, though, so we'll see. As far as our allies go, we see that we've got a Griffin and an Orion. That's not really very much. There's also this guy over here. What is this? We're not sure. Wow, those stray shots, though. Right into the Atlas. It's okay. The Atlas can take that. That's an Emperor. Okay, that's not too bad. There's also a allied King Crab here, which is not shabby. Dual Gauss Rifle M7, I think, is a little underwhelming on a King Crab, but okay. If that's what they want to do. So it's phase 17 here. These guys have not yet moved. We're pretty grouped up, so we're likely to take stray shots, but I'm still going to reserve.
Waiting for the shot.
Our friend the Griffin moves up, fires a breaching shot indirect at the Timberwolf, and does 5 damage. I don't care. That's very irrelevant to us. We want to move, or rather, we want to reserve. Okay, there's those reinforcements. Ah, there's another support lance. There's at least 3 lances here. Cool. Well, we asked for a challenge. So the Marauder moves up, fires on our friend the Griffin. Gets a through armor crit on their LRM-20. Okay. And then shuts down. That is a super dead Marauder. Okay. Well, that's the thing. What else do they got? Five damage to our awesome. I don't care.
It tickled.
We're going to continue reserving at this point. We want to reserve past this Timberwolf. So our friend the Orion fires on the Timberwolf. He would have been better off firing on the Marauder, in my opinion, but he did manage to get a tag on the Timberwolf, so that's kind of convenient, I suppose. One more reservation. And we're going to have another one beyond that as well. Our friend the Emperor moves up, fires on this Banshee. Again, it should have fired on the Marauder. Those would have been free hits on the Banshee, or rather on the Marauder. Firing on the Banshee like that is a waste. So the Banshee and the Marauder 2 are going to move here. Let's see what they want to do. Some sort of an AP Gauss over there. Okay. Or a Hyper Gauss, maybe. But it missed.
Yep.
We're going to continue to reserve and use these ridiculous evasive pips to our advantage. Interesting. Perhaps an awesome? What was that? 3 or 4 PPCs? Something like that. Well, we know there's some big boys over there for sure. The Banshee moves and doesn't do anything of note. The Marauder 2 moves up, fires on our friend the Orion. Misses all but a medium laser. Interesting. His heat isn't too high. Final reservation for us. They have 2 phase 12 movers, and the King Crab turns this back on the enemy. Interesting strategy, to be sure. Banshee moves up, fires on the King Crab, misses. Cool. Okay. So now the Timberwolf is going to move. And the question is, what's its plan? Back off, turn its back to us, and not fire. A questionable plan, to be sure. But I suppose it technically qualifies as a plan. So we're going to step forward with our Salamander. Now, we know that we're going to be taking heavy flanking fire here. However, I want that Timberwolf dead. This is not technically rear arc. This is side arc. I should have thought of that. I wanted it to be rear. We're going to have to go for the Marauder. Now, we could easily get a kill here.
Firing all weapon.
And we did. Perfect.
Hope we can salvage that.
So that's 1 out of 12 down.
What can I do for you?
Now, the Boar's Head is going to step up over here. This is rear arc on that Timberwolf. There's a backstop as well. We're going to Warlord. We're going to go in direct fire mode. And we're going to hit the rear arc of this Timberwolf just as hard as we can.
All weapons are go.
That mostly hit the arm. Not fantastic, if I'm honest. The Orion is going to sprint forward and position here. And we're going to Warlord. And we're going to hit the Timberwolf again. We have good hit odds here on the rear arc of this Timberwolf.
Here it comes.
I think that Gauss missed, but I didn't see. We didn't break the armor of that Timberwolf, which is sad.
Hey.
Very sad. But the Battle Master is going to move up to here. And we're going to continue to hit that Timberwolf. Boost those hit odds a little bit. Now that's some internal damage. Structure exposure, and the Timberwolf is unsteady now.
You didn't expect that. I'm here.
I didn't expect it to take this long to kill the Timberwolf, I'll be honest.
On
But
the way.
the Awesome is going to move up and hopefully is going to finish the job. Yeah, this should do the trick, in all honesty.
See how you like this.
Lots of arm hits there, but it was enough. That Timberwolf is down. That's 2 down.
Tango down.
Fantastic. Next, our
Standing
Bull
by.
Shark is going to move up over here. Now, who's the Bull Shark going to go for? They're fairly spread out. I wanted to select this guy. I don't know how much armor it has. That's a Blackjack out there? Okay, so I guess we're going to go for the Marauder 2 here.
Firing all
We're just looking to shred some armor off of it. We did manage to make it unsteady there. So that was pretty good, actually.
Good to go.
The Mauler is going to step forward, and we can go for any of these.
Confirmed.
We're still keeping in mind that we're going to have a bit of a withering hail of fire from this flank. I guess the Marauder 2 it is? Yeah, Marauder 2 it is. Light him up.
Engaging.
Some decent armor shred there, and a knockdown on the Marauder 2, which is important. Excellent.
What do you need?
So now the Corsair can move up over here. And we're going to fire on that Marauder 2. If it was round 2, we'd have much better hit odds, but it's not, so we're going to Warlord. And let's see what we get here. We're not expecting a kill necessarily, but
I'm on it.
we'd love to see some good armor shred on it. And that was mediocre armor shred, if I'm honest. Mediocre at best. Okay, next round. We're going to be pretty late moving because of our reservations last round. But that's a Blackjack. There's a Wraith out there. Okay. Firing on our friend the Griffin, and we're very okay with this, by the way. Out over here, we see that there is a Carronade, an Awesome, an Archer, and we don't see what the fourth is. If there's a fourth. And this guy's a Shadowhawk. Not too terrifying over here, in all honesty. Especially if they're going to keep firing at our friends instead of us. When does that Marauder 2 move? This round.
Waiting for orders.
Okay.
Position confirmed.
The Salamander has to get the kill right now, then. And that's very doable.
Roger.
That is one thoroughly dead Marauder 2.
One
Beautiful.
dead
So that's
target.
25% from each. So we now know there's a total of 12 enemy units. Well, now we know that there's 9 remaining. Our friend the Griffin moves up, fires on their Banshee, misses the PPC, but hits a few missiles there, getting some damage done. That's neat. We're okay with that. We're going to need to send some units to respond to this force over here. The Archer is, I think, the most terrifying over here, but it's not tremendously terrifying. The Shadowhawk moves up and does not fire. Now it's these guys. The Archer moves in, shoots at the Salamander side. We're AMSing, but that's a lot of hits into that arm. Okay.
Minimal damage on that hit.
No AMS successful there. But now that we have sensors, this is going to be much, much more simple. Interesting.
Oh, there's blood in my cockpit.
Unfortunately, Muffin Top is bleeding out. That was just a lot of rockets
What's
there.
up, boss?
Our Orion is, I think... Our Orion could respawn over there, but we have side arc on multiple over here, and we're going to take this.
Moving out.
We could fire on the Banshee or on the Banshee. And which Banshee is worse for us? Honestly, this one. So we'll fire on the side arc of this Banshee.
Affirmative.
Oh! That was a Gauss rifle to the cockpit.
Hostile removed.
Now that is what I call spicy. The Orion firing on that Blackjack and getting a solid hit. I like it.
Right here.
So our Battlemaster is running very, very hot right now. Those rockets didn't do too much damage. The major thing that they did was they caused internal bleeding, but we have quite a lot of time for that internal bleeding. But they also created a situation where we're running very hot in the Battlemaster. That said, they can't fire those again, so that's okay. We're going to fire on the Banshee here with not the medium heavy laser, but with everything else, I think. Solid damage into the side arc of that Banshee. I like it. So the Emperor moves back, fires on the Blackjack. Guess an AC2 ammo explosion there. Right torso destruction, engine crit. Many engine crits, actually. That Blackjack is very close to dead. Neat. So the Carronade is going to move around a bit over there. Yeah, that's about what we expected from that flank. We'll be okay for a bit, but we need to get this cleaned up. So the Awesome is going to step over this way. The only one it can directly hit is going to be the Banshee. That's okay. And we're also okay with this overheat.
Acknowledged.
We're not okay with both of those PPCs missing.
Show me your
But
war face.
AC5 ammo explosion into engine destruction.
Removed.
We're getting pretty lucky with these, actually. Yeah, they're going to continue to hit the Corsair. Or mostly miss the Corsair in this case. We're going to need to turn the Corsair and start engaging these over here. We're starting to see... We're getting through a lot of the mechs up here. So that's fine.
Waiting on
The
you,
Boar's Head
Commander.
is going to position over this way, like so.
Moving to position.
And we are absolutely going to shoot at this Awesome. We're going to need to shoot in artillery mode. But we just want to shred some armor off of these guys.
Take this.
And that's some solid armor shred there. The King Crab is going to fire on that Blackjack. That could be a kill, and it is a kill. That King Crab is actually doing a lot of damage. Those M7s are actually doing work. I'm somewhat surprised by this, I guess. Yeah. The M7s are actually doing better than I was expecting them to be.
Ready for
So the Mauler is going to turn and attack over this way. The only one it can fire on is this Archer, and odds are pretty low, in all honesty. We're just going to do something kind of like this. Sink heat and start closing in while pot-shotting a couple of shots over there. Okay, we did get a hit on the Archer, so that's good.
Commander.
The Bull Shark is obviously going to come over here. There was never any question about it. Hit this Awesome.
Firing on target.
That could easily be a knockdown. And it is. Excellent. In fact, that's a knockdown on both of them. Hilarious. They've already moved, so that should be a pretty effective CC on them. 63% versus 56. I mean, the odds are obvious. That's a double heat sink destroyed on that awesome. Okay. Next round. Phase 17 on the awesome, though. Oof. Okay. So we know that there's a guy up here that had rockets. We expect that their rockets are gone. Shooting at the Emperor. Cool. That was the Wraith. And there's the Shadowhawk as well. We'll send like a couple of mechs over this way. Probably the Salamander and some other somewhat closer range mechs. And the other mechs are probably going to come down here. We don't have too much left. Only 6 enemies remain. The Salamander is going to move up over here. And this is likely a kill on the Wraith if we're okay with the overheat. Not even an overheat. Cool. That's spreading out pretty far in terms of the actual damage. At this range, that's not shocking, I suppose. That's still a lot of armor shredded off of that Wraith. Yeah, you can see we hit every portion of the Wraith pretty hard. The Orion is going to move in over here-ish. Kind of dislike this positioning. This is much better, in my opinion. We'll sprint. It won't help our hit odds, but we can see reasonable hit odds versus about the same. And I think we're going to go after the Wraith. Gauss Rifle misses. That's okay. We were never going to have particularly great hit odds with the Orion there. That's fine. The Boar's Head is going to continue to advance over this way. And it is going to drop its artillery on the awesome here. Can we hit direct? We can hit direct. Do it. These guys are just getting shredded by artillery right now. That pilot is bleeding out, and we're fine. Now, Muffin Top is also bleeding out, but we're also fine. We're going to step up the hill a little bit here and shoot at that Wraith. Odds are not amazing out at that range, but that's fine. We'll just pot shot it. We may get a knockdown. We may actually get a kill. That's a knockdown. Once again, the shells spread out quite a lot, which is completely fine. The awesome gets up, but there's not a lot of mech left, if I'm honest. Fires at the Boar's Head. We don't care. It missed. We wouldn't have cared even if it did. Even if it did hit, rather. That would have been entirely irrelevant to us. The Archer moves up. Fires at the Griffin. This is irrelevant. It mostly misses. What else do we got? Well, anything? This should be this guy up here, I think. Oh, the Shadowhawk. Okay. Firing on the Orion. Does a little damage, I guess. Sure.
Commander?
The awesome can't really get into position to do too much. We're going to sprint up over this way, see if we can get an LOS on the guy that was up here. And sink some heat. The Carronade is going to get up. Let's see where it goes. It's mostly only, in fact, entirely only taken armor damage. The Carronade is still doing okay. Although, that's not a good position. Does some damage to the Boar's Head. Boar's Head is fine.
Okay, that was bad.
No, you're fine. I disagree. That was not necessarily bad. It wasn't ideal, but it's not bad. So the Mauler is going to move up over here.
Copy that.
And we're going to fire on that Wraith. And this should be a kill.
Engaging target.
There we go. One dead Wraith.
Bad guy
Fantastic. And what are our allies going to do? The Griffin walks back a little bit, fires on the Archer. Gets some damage in there. Okay. Shreds off a little armor. I don't hate that. What else do they got? Okay, they're shooting their rockets at the Orion now. I did expect them to be out of rockets.
Using armor.
Rogue Launcher is telling me there's a new update. Thanks, Rogue Launcher. I I don't need to know that right now. Maybe after I finish this session.
Yeah?
We're going to move up with the Corsair. And the Corsair is absolutely going to fire on the Awesome here. This is very likely a kill.
Confirmed.
I believe that is, in fact, a kill. Maybe? There's a lot of internal damage in that CT. Actually, that wasn't a kill. The Emperor moves up, fires on that Archer. The M7's doing some work, but not great at that range. The Orion also firing at the Archer. Getting a little more armor damage in there. I don't hate
Yes,
that.
Commander.
So the Bull Shark is going to step forward.
On my way.
Do we have direct fire Long Tom at this point? At this range? No, we do not. So artillery mode, and we are absolutely going to fire on the Carronade here. We're hoping that the splash damage will kill the Awesome. Structure exposure from the Carronade. And a lot of damage to it.
Reporting critical hit.
But that Awesome is still kicking. King Crab moves up, fires at the Archer. Those M7s doing work. Yeah, that Awesome is super close to dead. Okay, so the Salamander is going to sprint up over here. I would love to find a direct LOS over here. Sadly, we don't find a direct LOS, and we're just going to lob some ATMs at this Shadowhawk. And otherwise sink. Okay, so he's got some AMS, but it's not very good AMS. Sounds great.
Standing by.
Our Awesome is going to move up over this way. We're attempting...
No shooting. Just running.
There we go. To locate this guy. It's a Catapult 2. And he's actually still got missiles. Those are not rockets. Okay. We're going to Warlord this, and we're going to see what we can get done there. The answer is not a whole lot. That Catapult 2 with the Stealth Field Generator is kind of rude. The Archer moves up, fires on our Griffin friend. We don't care. Completely and totally irrelevant to us.
Standing by.
The Battle Master is going to come up over here,
I'll try.
and its goal is to continue hitting this catapult. Odds are low. We're going to close in a bit. Okay. Sounds good. We did miss. That's not surprising.
Standing by.
Now, the Orion. I feel like the Orion has to turn
On
up
the
this
move.
way, and we have to brace because of heat.
The
That
heat
Catapult
is
2
frying
put a
my
ton of heat into our Orion, and it's going to do it again. Oh, wait. That was barely anything.
damage is light.
Just sensor scramble. Okay, cool.
Standing by.
The Bull Shark is going to step up over here, and we're going to fire on that Carronade. We are hoping that that gets us a kill on the Awesome. Can we fire this in direct fire mode? We can. Fell a little short there.
Target's taken.
It's a knockdown on the Carronade, but not ideal. Okay, phase 16 is going to be the Shadowhawk. We'll see what he decides to do here. We're running him down, slowly but surely. And he's running away.
Received.
Okay. So the Mauler is going to step up over here.
To position.
We have some heat going on here. And hit odds are low, so we're just going to fire 2 ER large lasers and sink heat. We did get 36 damage in there. Actually, we got over 40. Not bad. That was like 45 damage. The Orion moves up and fires on that Carronade. I love it. Beautiful choice. Kill on the Carronade. Honestly, we're hoping that the King Crab kills the Awesome. It's super low. Fires on our Corsair, gets very little done. And did he just eject? He just ejected. He fired and then ejected. Okay, cool.
Waiting for orders.
So the Boar's Head is going to move down over this way. And we're going to fire on that Archer. The Archer's armor is kind of low, and this artillery will make it a lot lower. Excellent. He is unsteady. The Griffin moves and fires on the Archer. I like it. This could easily be a knockdown. I think it is. Beautiful. No problem whatsoever there. What's our King Crab friend going to do and our Emperor friend? Firing on the Archer. Not terrible. That's the Archer dead. King Crab hasn't even moved yet. Okay.
Yep.
So that's all of those guys down. So the Corsair is going to move up over this way and start pot-shotting at that catapult too. At this range, we're not really going to get much done, but...
Roger.
44 damage. Not shabby. And the King Crab turns and fires also on the catapult too. And it actually gets a hit with one of those M7 Gauss. Amazing. It got a little bit of internal, but that might have been through armor. Griffin firing at that catapult too. Popping his AMS. I really like that. Okay.
Yes, Commander.
Our Awesome is going to just step forward here. Hit odds are getting better on the catapult too. They're not great, but they're better.
Affirmative.
Okay. Both PPCs missing.
Damn it.
That's sad. The King Crab moves though, and also fires on the catapult too. It misses with his Gauss and literally everything. It missed with everything. Okay, cool. So, at least it didn't backstab us, I guess. That Awesome would not have been happy with that. So the Salamander can actually get an LOS on this Shadowhawk, and that's, I think, exactly what we go for.
Confirmed.
Yeah, this is just a free hit on the Shadowhawk. This is on his weak side. I think this is a kill. There we go. One dead Shadowhawk.
Target eliminated.
Almost a one-shot there.
Out of LRMs.
The Orion moves up. The only target remaining is that catapult 2. And it gets some armor damage in there. I like it. So the catapult 2 will move on phase 14. The Bull Shark is going to come in here. We're going to fire this not in direct fire mode, but in artillery mode. All we're looking for right now is stability damage on that catapult 2. And that was a solid hit there. I think that's a knockdown. That was a fantastic long tom shot. I love it. Okay, so the Mauler is going to climb up here a bit. That's a knockdown on this guy. Now, it's still hard to hit. There's no doubt about it. But we'll see what we get.
Locking up.
Not a whole lot. He doesn't move until phase 8, though. So the Corsair is going to step up as close as it can without losing LOS. And we're just going to keep pot-shotting this thing.
Attacking from position.
But most of the damage is probably going to come from our artillery at this point. These guys, however, they might have better luck. They've been hitting some interesting things lately. Yeah, that was a pretty decent shot. I mean, the
Commander.
AP Gauss will do that. That's fair enough. We're definitely not going to fire our lasers here.
Locking on target.
Gauss rifle missing. Only getting a smattering of missiles in there. Okay.
Right here.
No, we're not going to move you there. Our Battlemaster is going to go here. Actually, we probably should have kept it a little more out of the way. It might get backstabbed by our friend. No hits whatsoever there. And now we hope our allies don't shoot us. that is our primary hope right now. We're going to move up with the Boar's Head, and are we going to fire this in artillery mode? Yes. We're going to fire this in artillery mode.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Partial wing system crit there. Some internal damage. Oh, engine destruction into the ultralight.
That's a kill.
Got it. Excellent. Just the way I like missions to go. Simple, with a fat payday at the end. Indeed.
Mission successful.
I mean, I'm not sure I'd call that simple. It was 3 lances, and they were pretty well equipped, but they made some strange choices early on. That's for sure. But hey, 5.5 skull didn't feel that bad. That felt extremely doable, and I mean, yeah, we got some lucky shots early on with that Gauss head hit and the ammo explosion, but even without those, I think we would have been just fine. We didn't even take all that much damage. It wasn't too bad. There's not all that much salvage available, and we're probably just going to take like a Banshee part? Or Catapult 2 part? Probably a Catapult 2 part, just for the cash value. We'll do that. Flamer Hotshot, generic armor, computer battle, or battle computer for ballistics, sure, and basic sensors. Okay. Sounds good to me. I don't think we took all that much damage. Maybe something along the lines of 80k. Somewhere in that ballpark is what I'm guessing. The real question, of course, is how long is it going to take for Muffin Top to be recovered? But it was only the one pilot injury, so it shouldn't really be all that bad. Realistically speaking, it'll probably take roughly the same amount of time it takes to repair the mechs, is my guess. We'll see if that's true or not. It is past time to put a cut in here, so as soon as we know what it's going to cost to repair, I will go ahead and do that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and let's see what Yang has to say about this, as I just, like, gradually drift further and further away from my microphone. It's absolutely wonderful. Like, okay, there we go. 130k. I don't know. I'm kind of in a weird mood, I guess. 130k is a little more than I expected, but that's fine. I'll see you all next time.